Welcome, fight fans, to my channel. This is Johnny, and today we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about when mentioning a possible fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Tszyu. Guys, it's been a crazy 7 days in boxing, specifically the 154-pound division. We know that Tszyu battled Sebastian Fundora last weekend for the 154 strap. We know how that went. It was a bloody affair caused by a inadvertent cut at the end of the second round, which ultimately led to Tszyu bleeding throughout the entire fight. Fundora got hurt in that fight as well early. It's not getting mentioned, but that kid toughed through a broken nose that happened in the first round. Both guys did not leave the fight unscathed, although Fundora won a close split decision by 1 point. Both fighters also have been medically suspended by the Athletic Commission in Nevada. Fundora is going to be out at least 6 months, they say, so the fractures in his face could heal. Tszyu is out medically uncleared until May. He did receive 10 stitches in his head to heal up that cut from the elbow, but all in all, he seems pretty much okay from the fight. Now, the questions have arisen because before the news came out that Fundora was suspended, the news was, will it be Bud? Will it be Errol Spence Jr. against Fundora? And Errol Spence Jr. was in the ring, and he did call out Fundora. But since this news has broken that Fundora won't be able to fight for at least 6 months, where do we go from here? Bud Crawford's name has been paired in the last 24 hours with the UK fighter Joshua Kelly to fight for a vacant belt at 154. And that kind of leaves us with Tszyu, Errol Spence Jr. Has anyone heard from Charlo? So I've been receiving messages to do this video, and today we're going to break down a potential matchup between EJ and Tszyu. We're going to go over their opponents' win-loss record, develop a statistic called strength of schedule, and talk about their journey and roadmap to lead them where they are. Before we do that, we're going to talk about some statistics that we all know about each fighter. Let's start with Errol Spence Jr. He is 28-1 with 22 knockouts. He has a career 79% knockout to win ratio. He is currently ranked number 4 in the world in the welterweight division. That's 147. He's 34 years old, standing at 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. The Texas Southpaw is known by his adoring fans as the Truth. If we look at his last 5 fights, starting with Bud Crawford, going to that fight, Crawford was 39-0. Errol lost that via 9th round knockout. Ugas 27-4, knockout in the 10th. Danny Garcia 36-2, unanimous decision in the 12th. Sean Porter 30-2, split decision in the 12th. Mikey Garcia 39-0, UD in the 12th. Let's grab our calculators. Add up his opponent's win-loss record. You'll get a 171-8 record, which is a 96% win-loss ratio strength of schedule for Errol Spence Jr. He is 4-1 over his last 5 fights, with 1 knockout, his only loss coming to Crawford. Let's turn the page and look at Tszyu. He is 24-1 with 17 knockouts, giving Tim a 71% knockout to win ratio over his career. He's currently ranked number 4 in the world in the super welterweight division. That's 154 pounds. He's 29 years old, standing at 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. And the Sydney Sider is an orthodox fighter known as the Soul Taker. We know his last fight was just this past weekend against Fundora. Seb was 20-1, and we know Tim lost a very close split decision. Brian Mendoza, 22-2, UD in the 12th. Ocampo, 35-2, knockout in the 1st. Harrison, 29-3, knockout in the 9th. Gausha, 22-2, UD in the 12th. Grab the calculators. You'll get 128 wins versus 10 losses, giving Tszyu a 93% win-loss ratio strength of schedule over his last 5 fights. He is 4-1 with 2 knockouts over his last 5 fights. And guys, I think personally these two pair up pretty well. Styles make fights, southpaw versus orthodox. Also, both guys are pressure forward fighters. Neither one of them take a back step. When I'm breaking them down though, You look at the differences would be age being one of them, EJ being 34, Tszyu being 29. The height and the reach pretty much cancel each other out. There's a statistic that we can't really measure only by watching them fight, is the damage component. We know what happened in Errol's last fight against Bud, but that's not the first fight that Errol has been touched. EJ is known for kind of grinding out these long victories. Mikey Garcia, 12 rounds. Sean Porter, 12 rounds. Danny Garcia, 12 rounds. It took him into the 10th to get Ugas out of there. And even the Crawford fight, he took a beating for 9 rounds. When I look at Tim Tszyu's damage, he got dropped early against Gausha, but that was more of a flash knockdown. The Harrison fight was more like him playing with his food until he got him out of there in the 9th. Quick showing against Ocampo. The Mendoza fight was tough, but Tim wasn't really hurt. And other than the cut early on against Fundora, I know we can't do this. There's no way to tell, but you remove that cut. I saw Tim the next day speaking. He really didn't have any swelling around his eyes. Nothing too bad. So from a damage component, if I had to weigh the two, you'd have to weigh that against Errol. Errol has more miles in terms of overall damage per fight than Tim. So I'd give Tim the advantage there. And then the styles, like I said, Southpaw versus Orthodox, both of them like to go forward. It would be a fight that I think fight fans would love to see. Will it happen next? I have no idea. I wanted to do this breakdown video to compare the two. I think they match up really well, and we just have to see how the chips are going to fall with a lot of moving parts. Let's hope Tszyu heals up quicker than expected, and we get to see Errol Spence Jr. sooner than later. If this were to go down, which side would you guys be on, Errol Spence Jr. or Tim Tszyu? Let me know in the comment section below.